Canada looks to get back on the podium as the World Juniors kick off in Ottawa. Hey everyone, Rob Wong joined alongside by Don Brennan and Tim Baines, who will be covering the World Juniors, which makes it to return to the nation's capital for the first time since 2009. And guys, it was a disappointing finish for Canada in last year's tournament. We'll get to how you think they'll fare this time around, but let's take a quick look at this roster, Don. Give me one or two players who do you think will be a big key for Canada if they do want to win a medal.
Well, I think going into the tournament into the pre-tournament, I think that everybody knew that the offense was going to come from a particular line. They formulated a line with Callum Ritchie at center, Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick Easton Cowan, and Bradley Nadeau, and they haven't disappointed in the pre-tournament. I mean, both Ritchie and Cowan had 5 points each of the 11 goals, and they were just a force out there. So I think that you're going to need production from those guys. All eyes will be on them and to be counted on offensively. And of course, there's a guy like the guy that I'm going to watch, and I know that you say one or two, but I'm going to go off the board a little bit. Gavin McKenna. And I mean, we've heard a lot about Gavin McKenna. He's just turned 17 on Friday, 17 years old, and he is the consensus number one pick for the 2026 NHL entry draft. The guy is fantastic. He's so incredible with the puck. Coach Dave Cameron has liked the way his game has evolved the last couple of days without the puck. But I mean, just the things he can do. I expect that he's going to break out at some point, and I think this would be a good stage for him to do that on.
Well, Tim, luckily Don did not name off the whole roster, so we did leave a few players for you. Who do you think should make an impact if Canada wants to go a long way here?
I think we've seen so many. This tournament has been a coming out party for so many of the biggest stars in hockey. We think about the Crosbys and the Tavares, and I guess it goes back to Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. Some of the biggest names in the NHL have come through this tournament and played for Canada. I guess a couple guys that I'm going to be looking at, Porter Martone and Matthew Schaefer, two of the guys who are talked about being potential or likely first-round draft picks, high first-round draft picks, as high as in the top 5. So I'm always curious to see, this is really for those of us, for casual hockey watchers, this really is our introduction to what could be some of the best players in the game in a couple of years.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, just watching this tournament as a kid, not watching junior hockey, learning about a lot of these guys, and then you see them become NHLers, and a bunch of them maybe go on to long careers. So it should be interesting, the guys that you mentioned, to keep an eye on them this tournament. So Team Canada in search of that 21st World Junior title. Tim, how do you think they'll fare, and who do you think are their biggest competition going into this tournament?
Well, the U.S., of course, will be tough. The disappointment of last year, we're not used to that kind of disappointment. They were coming off back-to-back gold medals, and they flopped last year. And I guess that showed they left some players off the team, some of the returnees from last year. They wanted to have a fresh look, and everything about this team seems really fresh. This team is stacked. We say the same thing every year, though. We've got a good team going into every year. We've got a chance at the gold medal. Some people are calling this, even though with last year's disappointment, some people are saying that this is the gold medal favorite.
Well, Don, there's maybe no country that puts more pressure on them heading into this tournament than Team Canada. On home ice, the pressure gets ratcheted up even more. What do you think their chances are of coming away with a medal in this one? And maybe it is that gold medal.
I mean, I think that it's gold or bust for Team Canada, as it always is in events like this. I think that, they've won 20 golds of the 48 World Junior Championships that have been held, and 2 of the last 3. They won the last time it was in Ottawa in 2009. Who could forget that? That was just such an amazing tournament with the guys like John Tavares and Jordan Eberle and PK Subban, Alex Pietrangelo. I could list the entire roster. I won't. But that was just a phenomenal tournament, and the dramatics of it were incredible. I think that so Team Canada is going to be looked at as the favorites. So the betting favorites on the sports books, and it's going to be tough. I mean, the Americans last year won the gold 6-2 over the host Sweden team, and they've got 10 returnees from that team. Now, that's a lot. So they're going to look a lot like they did last year. They're led by James Hagens, a center for Boston College, who Tim talking about Martone and Schaefer. James Hagens entered the season as atop the rankings as the favorite to be drafted #1 in 2025. And he's elite center, great playmaker. You can watch some clips of him. He's fun to watch. So he's going to be the guy that drives that ship. And I think the Americans, there's the traditional New Year's Eve game between Canada and U.S., and that's going to be just a really exciting game. And I think that we all hope that it's a preview of the gold medal game.
Well, we referenced that 2009 tournament. It's going to be difficult to match that dramatics, and we'll see if Canada can do it beginning on Boxing Day when they take on Finland. For Tim Baines and Don Brennan, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.